affluence within equals affluence without. February 19, 2018. So, pre-context for this is this was a really good entry because it shows the common thought of what the fuck am I doing? This fucking shit sounds like rah rah. How the fuck am I gonna think myself out of this fucking hole? Fuck that, this shit, I'm bugging. Maybe I'm bugging. That's the energy behind this entry. Definitely. Life happens according to your thoughts. These past 2 to 3 weeks have been really bad. Funds have been so low that I'm multiple weeks behind on literally all the bills I have overdue, or I have due. Every day I'm stressed because no money is coming in and bills just keep adding up. This shit is no joke. But the thing I am realizing is that because things are so tight, I have been constantly thinking about how tight it's been, and therefore have been manifesting more and more negativity and stressfulness into my life. It's like a catch-22. The more things are going bad, the more you think about how bad things are, and therefore the more bad you attract in your life. And that's exactly what's been happening to me. I've been so engulfed in my current situation that I'm literally keeping myself trapped in this situation. And even though a few weeks ago I somewhat understood this principal law, I did not and have not begun applying its polar opposite, which is courageous, optimistic, and hopeful feelings. The reason is that I truly could not get myself to believe that by simply thinking different thoughts that I could change my circumstance. I thought, how the fuck are positive thoughts going to get my rent paid? And therefore I didn't try. But this is where I went wrong. Yeah, I feel like that last sentence is what everyone thinks. It's the most common thought that comes to you when you want something that you can't have right now because your circumstance won't allow for it and it's really far out there. Like a body that you want, or just anything that sounds outlandish. If you're from whatever you want that doesn't seem like true, the first doubt that creeps in your mind is, bro, how the fuck are you gonna get that by talking about it? How the fuck are you gonna get that by thinking about it, bro? You need some help. You need it. It's the thought that everyone has. It's the thought that we've all had. And I love this entry because it shows that I'm not all positive. I'm not like, I'm not all, because the shit is not true. It's not, you can't be all positive. It's one of the laws in the Kabbalion is the law of rhythm, and that everything everything has rhythm. Everything, dances from one end to the other, dances between the polar opposites, and that rhythm is the ebbs and flows of life, the ups and downs, the positives, negatives, the good days, the bad days. They come, they're inevitable. The Kabbalion helped me realize that, but so to continue, but this is where I went wrong, because just today, this law of positive thinking applied itself in my life, and it happened like this. This past week, 10 days, I have completed the full audiobook version of the 24 Master Key System, and in this book, I learned the deep intricacies to how to use your mind power to effectively apply all that has been learned from the Kabbalion. The Kabbalion is like the lesson, and the Master Key System is the homework. So while listening, I started to learn about how reality is a manifestation of thoughts, and how your reality is in direct correlation to your thought processes. I began to realize that my situation was not getting any better, but I also realized that neither were my thoughts. That's a profound realization to have, and stuck in your own bubble. That's the realization of truth, of of accepting responsibility for your situation, of not continuing to blame external circumstances for your shit. Even if it is based on external circumstances, it doesn't matter. The external circumstance that caused it doesn't give a fuck that it caused it. So if you don't accept responsibility for your situation, even if you grew up in the middle of the hood, in the middle of the projects, and your whole situation's fucked up. Mom's doing crack, dad's not around, brother's in a gang. You never had access to any type of thoughts like this, maybe, life is not your fault. If you're young like that, it's not necessary. But unless you accept responsibility for getting yourself out of that situation, which is a difficult thing to do because it's almost impossible, you won't. The beginning of self-help, personal development, is to accept responsibility for your shit. I began to realize that my situation was not getting any better, but I also realized that neither were my thoughts. So I began last week just telling and convincing myself that even though I did not know how, that I was going to make enough money to pay my bills. I truly had no idea how, but I said, fuck it, I'm gonna believe anyway. I started to internalize this thought, and over this past weekend, and lo and behold, after a brief stint of thinking he was trying to fuck me, Ryan placed an order for about 7K. All in all, I need about 15 to 18K to really get myself out of the red, but before today, I barely had anything towards it. Also, the same thing happened with Lance last week, where he gave me a 4K job out of the blue, which really helped. Both of these occurrences deepen my belief in how truly powerful the mental laws can be. So the minute I realized that, all right, you know what, nothing's getting better, shit's fucked up, but you're also like living in that pool, let's just try to fucking do the hoorah shit, the rah-rah, and start thinking positive. I did so, and then these things happened in my, I made 10 or 11 grand, which was much needed because I had a lot of fucking bills that if I didn't have enough money by the 30th, I'm starting to get kicked out. So it was like miracles I needed. I want to run a challenge with myself for the next week of keeping all negative, poverty-stricken, and stressful thoughts out of my head and see what results will be. Let's see what kind of abundance I can manifest this week. Now, a quick update about other things going on. One, the Indian solar deal is no further than it was when it first started. Ryan is a sleazeball. Ryan's the same guy that just made me 7K, or just gave me 7K. He's a character. He truly is. I have the utmost respect for that guy because he's a badass salesman. But truth be told, he has a pretty bad reputation in my industry. I guess I realize that at this moment. Ryan is a sleazeball, and the deal is going to happen, but Ryan is going to show his true colors, and it will affect things. Oh, I think he was trying to steal the deal. Fuck it, Ryan. 2, I approached Lance about partnering because I convinced myself that if I didn't, I would go under, which is completely false. He's doing what he usually does by ignoring me. He did offer me 150K again, but I asked for 200K. It's truly what's needed to properly transition to 49%. I'm waiting to see where this goes. I'm so glad that didn't happen. At this point, I was trying to pitch an idea to a friend of mine, successful business guy, real estate, Lance. And because I was, at that point, I was fucked up with money. I'm trying to just pitch anything I could pitch. So I was pitching this whole new idea to him about getting companies certified as minority-owned businesses and helping them get government contracts and stuff. And the truth is, I was really just looking for some money, and that was some cap anyway. So I'm glad that shit didn't happen. But yeah. So everything happens as it should. There's many things that happen like this where I was in dire situations where I was, looking to partner with people or sell equity in my company, and it always didn't happen because it wasn't meant to. But the reason it happened, these guys were always trying to fuck me. They were always trying to give me it was ego involved too. Nah, man. People were always trying to undercut me and shit. And even though I needed money, I knew that I had that. It was nah, not for that cause. So, but ultimately, I'm so glad I never partnered with anyone because when I won dolo. So everything happens as it should, even when you don't realize it. 3, me and Elsa have been hanging out a lot lately, and I love her. She stresses me, but she also makes me better. This week, she starts back working here a few days a week, and I'm so thankful. So me and my ex-girlfriend we had a real crazy relationship, back and forth a lot. She helped me a lot with my company. And in the times that we would break up and shit, I did realize that she was definitely a pivotal person in my life at this time because she helped me in this time that I needed to mature really quick and do all the shit that I needed to do. It was she helped in my business. She helped, when she wasn't around, I was wasting time looking for girls and shit. It was just so much mature shit. I was just damn, I need to stop fucking playing. So yeah, but it was definitely a ebb and flow thing with me and her. 4, the whole thing with Allie wanting to move out happened this past week. My mom, me and Anthony sat down and talked at my office. That was something else. I don't think Allie will be moving with me due to her attitude. I don't really recall that situation, but now she's 21. My sister, I love that girl. I love that girl to death. 5. I've been working on putting together bids for Humberto. The relationship with him will be fruitful. This is a guy I met who was from Washington, D.C., another guy who I was wholesaling stuff to. 6, I talked to Alan from Everlux today about moving in, and he is on board. This relationship will turn out to be very fruitful. We are going to make lots of money together. 7, me and Elsa are going to look at an apartment in the hub zone. When it works out, we'll have our 35%. Holy shit, this number 6 right here, what I wrote right there, number 6, happened. Fucking happened. Word for word. As you will see as we continue. This was in January. Moving in with Everlux in July was the beginning of the come up. That was the beginning of the next stage of things, and I wrote this shit at this time. He was a I'll discuss more later, but he was just a fucking angel. Simply put, that business partnership, the guy himself, and that whole situation was just fucking beautiful, man. And yeah, 7 was just some shit that didn't happen. Yo, so ultimately, man, the moral behind this shit right here is that it happens. You know, when you go on this journey of trying to better your situation is not going to get better for a long time. When I read the Kabbalion, it was in like November of 2017, and my life continued to fucking free fall, like skydive for the next 8-9 months. It was fucked up. It got worse progressively. But in that time, I also took back control of the way I thought about it. And that was the foundation and the catalyst towards what happened. So although no matter what your situation is, you do have control over one thing, how you think about it. It's not about what happens to you, it's about how you react. So although life was whooping my ass, I still was waving hello to it. Peace.